y'all. Yeah. How y'all doing? Shout out to the Aries. Yeah. Y'all. YN Melly. Judge. Sought it to him, to the prosecutors, while attending the hearing. Oh, yes. Yes, it did. I'm going to give y'all the time up to get in here. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the video. Yes, honey. Y'all come on in. I'll give y'all time to come in, okay? YNW Melly, Judge. Hey, baby. See you in a while, Justice. YNW Melly, Judge, sought it to the prosecutors while attending the hearing, honey. That judge ain't messing around. Y'all hear me? That judge ain't messing around with them. That's not that judge right there. That judge said. That judge sitting there listening to them talk. He like, man, what's wrong with y'all? What y'all talking about? Before we get started, y'all, close that screen door and start letting all them flies up in here. Now I'm so tired of them darn cotton picking flies. I am so sick and tired of them flies. They just won't start coming. Oh, listen to you, girl. That is so smart. I like a woman who get out there and do her own yard work, okay? Yeah. Now, y'all, let me tell y'all what's going on before we watch the live. Now, on April the 1st, YNW Melly, whose real name is Jamel Demons, attended a hearing in Broward County ahead of his double murder retrial, which multiple motions were discussed. Oh, yeah. Now, I give you a little bit of detail, a little breakdown of the detail about the case and the hearing and the motion. Okay. YNW is facing, y'all, a double murder retrial in Broward County, accused of shooting and unaliving Christopher Thomas Jr. and Anthony Williams in 2018. Now, you know what? I remember some of y'all were with me. We were covering this case, and we're going to still cover this case. I don't went to sleep covering this case. I was tired, but we hung in there. Now, the hearing took place on, like I said, on April Fool, where multiple motion was discussed. Okay, they was discussing the motion. Then the motion defense attorney argued for information on an investigation into YNW Melly's lead attorney, Rayvon Liberty. Liberty is his attorney, the lady. She's the only lady over there. Liberty got his most interest as well, and also sought to get Melly's release from jail. I don't think Melly gonna ever. I don't think he gonna get released. But if the prosecutors don't get their act together, see that lady when they had the other prosecutor when they had her baby. Remember she was pregnant, and I think he procrastinated those 6 months, 6 week checkup. You know, you go back to the doctor. She ain't doing it, but sitting down, she can still get up and move around. All depends on her pregnancy. Now the second bond hearing. A second bond hearing for YNW Melly has been set for Tuesday, y'all. And I will remind y'all, May the 6th, with Melly's attorney, Raven Liberty, presenting the argument before Judge Martin and Smith. Okay. Now, that previous hearing, there have been other hearings and court appearances related to this case, including an emergency hearing and a federal court appearance where Melly's defense argued for his release. The second double murder trial scheduled to begin, y'all, and I will remind y'all, there is a trial date. It's September the 10th. Now I believe that's when that lady gonna come back. On September the 10th of this year. Now custody. YNW Melly has been in custody for over 2,200 days. The defense allegations. The defense attorneys allege that Melly is being abused by the Broward County Sheriff Office by denying him opportunity to speak to his and one of his lawyers. Now, Melly, when they give you that opportunity, you need to take advantage of that opportunity and not mess it up and then blame somebody else there because you messed yourself up. Now, the judge in Melly case says he's embarrassed for both the prosecution and the defense because y'all need to hear how they talk. They talk like little kids up there fussing and arguing. So what we're going to do now, we're going to turn into the trial. Because a lot of my people work, a lot of my people busy in the yard, like Justice now. And we're going to catch up. We're going to play catch up. Because I be attending to other things, other social media platform and working as well. So I didn't get a chance to look at all of it, but we're going to listen to this. Okay. Hope everybody having a great day. If you're not, have one. Okay.
also goes to his motive to engage in the behavior of tampering, which also ties into the gang allegations, because there's a lot of discussions about the gang allegations, gang activity in the various communications. Incentive or consciousness of guilt as to the underlying case, which would be the murder, and the materiality of witnesses that are being involved, namely Ryan Hamilton. A lot of that stuff is discussed in those communications and those public issues that are up on appeal, which makes it relevant to the tampering charge. It's not an element, which I think is what this liberty is getting to, but in terms of evidence, the state intends to introduce to support its claim as to why the defendant would tamper, it certainly has bearing there. Motion that in paragraph 6 about what Judge Murphy had said could be permitted to proceed and what could not. But ultimately, what governs 924.071 is whether the C4 motion would have a material effect on the matters up on appeal, and clearly it would. So the court is governed by 924.071. The matter, its count, is up on appeal, deal with evidence relevant to it, and the C4 motion directly addresses that. So until the 4th TCA is done with their proceedings in the matter, this court is prohibited from hearing substantive matters as it relates to that.
Seems like the late package, Judge. You can take Mr. Evans' entire stuff going back to 2024. They're still not going to be able to prove witness tampering. 941, 4 different elements. Mr. Griffith wants to make us believe that somehow you could look at emails from 2019 and it gives you the state of mind. Like, my client's not psychic. You know this is going to happen in 2023. You know it's Brentford and everything else. So now I'm saying it's material is disingenuous, Judge. So I would ask that we let the state, we proceed on the C4 motion, which is only to one count. There's still 3 other counts. We're not bringing this case to finality. I am just addressing the tampering. Because on its face, may have not met the burden.
He looks so lost. The judge. Talking so low. The microphone. While she talking loud and he want to talk soft like a violin, but let's see. I wonder why he keep making them faces.
However, that being the case,
statute that's pretty well defined what official proceedings are. The only applicable one would be the trial that occurred in May of 2022. So with that in mind, that they must prove that there was I'm in the position that does not apply because it is matriculating. And I will also just, I know you're rolling, but with that said, if that was so much the case, then why haven't they stated Portland Henry's case or Terrence Atkins's case? Because this evidence still can come in that case. Fred could, or excuse me, Portland Henry's attorney could come and adopt my C4 motion and argue it himself. At this point, they have not moved to state that case and state that evidence so important. So why could that work with the co-defendant, but not with Mr. Timmons? There's no logic to it.
Why does he keep walking?
Although you never rolled up, just leave this impression on the board. We did have this hearing, we did discuss the state. The state had represented that had no issue with
but y'all, I can't wait till that lady, the other attorney. I hope she come back before the trial. I hope she'll be back because this prosecutor right here is not strong without her. The prosecutor right here is not strong in this case without. I can't think of the female prosecutor name. She's good, but this guy right here, he not that good to me.
We have the right to go into whether or not tainted by the material that they received in the investigation of Miss Liberty. Remember, I only represent Mr. Demms. I don't represent Miss Liberty. So, what? How this affects Miss Liberty is irrelevant to them. But they have all of her accounts. In that, are there comments made about our trial strategy? Are there emails? Are there communications, text messages about our trial strategy? How about whether or not she just met with Mr. Demons and Mr. Demons says this, and this? The bottom line of all of this is they did a mass seizure of everything in Miss Liberty's Apple accounts. And in order to be able to defend him properly, we need to know what they have. We need to know whether it was received properly, whether it was reviewed properly by a team team, whether they went beyond the time of all these cases. You notice that during these hearings, prosecutors are called to testify, agents are called to testify. We don't know which prosecutors, nothing. We are totally in the dark. Again, if you read all this.
Defense attorney remind me of the Idaho case. When the defense didn't know, defendants didn't know what they was going to present during court, during the hearing. But I don't understand why. I thought the prosecutors were supposed to get them a heads up what's supposed to be going on at the in the court, what's going to be happening at the trial or what they got planned. But they doing the defense in Melly's case like they did Brian Kohlberger. The prosecutors holding back a whole lot of stuff that they supposed to know. The defense supposed to know. So that was good. What the defense is telling the judge. They don't know. They in the dark. They just like I said, like Kohlberger case. They don't know what's going on.
That says have to demand all the material be returned, and that they have a duty to return that case. Well, they were duty to return everything to us without them having copies. As I said, each case is a little different from the next. I'm not here asking the court to dismiss the case. I'm not here asking the court to sanction the state. What I'm asking the court is to make the state reveal to us all that they have so we can determine whether there is a conflict. And as I said, that's
Enough. What the defense? I'm not on that Melly. I'm not on nobody's side. I'm just saying what's fair. I think it's fair what the defense attorney is saying. That's the only thing he asking for. When the prosecutors are asking for the defense paperwork, they're not replying or either returning it back to them. They leaving them in the air like that. That's not fair. So we want to have a fair trial, right? Okay. Let's see how this judge gonna see it.
client attorney privilege material that they have in their possession, whether they have affected the system, whether they destroyed or affected the systems of counsel, because they now know our strategy or what we're going to do, what we're start, but it's not a finish. And the reason why it's not finished, we still need to know whether this material was passed on to the trial team, whether they had a contained team. Those are things that we still need to know. So, although, as I said, that's a start to order this all to be returned to us or copies of how I just then turned over to me. How do I know that this incredibly confidential piece of information wasn't seen by the team called up to Griffiths and said, God, you can't believe what we just discovered here. This will help you in the murder case. Here it is. We don't know that. I'm not accusing anybody, but the case law is pretty clear. We're entitled to find out if it was shared with these prosecutors. There is such a I suspect you probably know what's coming. Your Honor, she knows. No, Your Honor, you're wrong, and I don't get it nasty to the court. Will you please tell me the communication you don't know? Listen, we're why you're headed. Jimmy? We're why you're headed. I'd like to skip ahead to Mr. Neilstein's part of the was concerning materials in December of 23. I don't see any studies. Like red state, not any supplemental studies go to the court. Any. Correct. So I assume that means you're not going to use any of this in the trial because you're not going to use any of it in the trial. And again, so the other 6, Mr. Devin is entitled to high due process. Because the penalty is 17 months, 16 months to do so. Despite your own position, I previously found that it's not ongoing investigation because you haven't done it. Now you're telling me there was no materials involved that were turned over to the state that even warranted you supplementing discovery. So if that's the case, what is the harm in granting number 2 request to all this copy or
That's right.
So let me back up a little bit. So despite what the court feels is a closed, not longer an open investigation, it does remain an investigation. That's with the detective. The investigation is still open. But that can go on forever. I can tell the case before the case is actively being worked. And on top of that, because obviously I can't disclose to the court exactly what's going on. So that's the plan, sir. If you don't mind, let me know. Now that's special order 753 in September. I'm going to call it out. So my finding on your objection, when I proceed forward, that there is no ongoing investigation. So that's the way I see it. Go ahead. All right, Judge. Well, following up with that, I was working on a response.
See, he's not that prosecutor right there on the left. That's the defendant on the right. That prosecutor right there cannot work, y'all. He don't know what he know what he talking about. Don't know what he talking about. I don't know how can I explain it. He's familiar what he's talking about, but he don't know what he's talking about. But the female attorney, she knows exactly what's going on in this case. She's gonna sock it to them during that trial. I'm telling y'all. But if he don't stand up like he's supposed to, take over, do that paperwork, get off that phone, and stop playing around with Melly's court case. And when they send the information, email the information, look over that information. Read. People don't like to read, but he's an attorney. He has to read. So he need to read the information, get them folk that they copy. That's what he need to do, and stop making up excuses.
Investigation with reasonable good faith anticipation securing arrest or prosecution in the foreseeable future. There is no statute or regulation on how long a relic. 0.011 Florida Freedom Newspapers versus Dempsey at 478 Southern 2nd 1128. Avila versus Miami-Dade County at 29 Southern 3rd 401. There's other citations that this refers to. There's no time limit. And this is as officer of the court, I'm telling this court this remains an open investigation. Is currently and still being worked. The materials that they seek, first of all, there's been no seizure. The case law actually talks about this. Copies of her Apple records were provided to 5 of those records. She still has access to them. The lack of seizure. So there's been no seizure. 32 Federal Supplement 708, and 3rd 1268, 3rd 172. Matter of search info associated with the redacted Gmail account at 2017 Westlaw 2480752. Call site 2 USB Jacob sent at 446 US 109. A seizure of property occurs when there is some meaningful interference with individuals' possessory interest in property. There's been no seizure. We have copies, yes. There's been no seizure. The court has pointed out.
You know, this judge seemed like he lost and confused to me. Like he didn't even read his paperwork. He don't seem like he read. I don't know. Do they supposed to give him a copy or whatever? It just seemed like he like I was when I first listened to them when they were having the other hearings. It just don't make no sense what they was saying. And see, and the reason why the hearing is sounding like this is because of Judge Murphy. Judge Murphy just sit there and let them say anything they want to say. And then he just sit up there with his hand on his mouth. That was Judge Murphy did. He really didn't talk like this attorney right here is into what they saying. Murphy wasn't into what they were saying. So they were used to getting away. Prosecutor were used to getting away with some things, and the defense attorney is used to getting away with everything. But this judge right here, he's listening. He's paying attention. The only thing Murphy did was stare at what's the name, Mama. That's how he did it. Well, he was staring at somebody out there, but he showed him up paying attention.
What the state, probably more honestly, but she has what the state has. So she has access to whatever it is that we review. So that I'm telling the court there's been no seizure and it remains an open investigation.
Understand, the judge gave him the order to do something, and he doesn't do it. And it goes with the defense as well. When the judge tell them to do something, they always say, "No, I'm not going to seize or nothing." Like he just talked to that judge. That's the judge. Golly.
And I'm protecting my open investigation, Your Honor.
you mean? Okay, listen. What do he mean he not finished with his work? They've been having a big break in between. It's because the prosecutor put Melly's paperwork on the side. He has not been working on the paperwork. He has not been working on the trial period. He been sitting there waiting on the lady to have her baby and put all the pressure on her. He ain't did nothing. That prosecutor right there is not doing what he's supposed to do. Then the judge don't gave them breaks. Judge Murphy don't gave them breaks to get everything they need for this trial. September will be here before y'all know it. Don't be surprised. Told you. He didn't have access to everything. That other prosecutor, that woman has access to everything. And I don't blame her. I wouldn't give my information to nobody either. Because listen how he messing up when he talking. I wouldn't get nobody else my all that hard work I be done put into something. Ain't no way in the world I get nobody else my paperwork and let them mess it up. So that prosecutor, that lady prosecutor who having a baby, she doing right. But y'all got to remember now, it's a female. It's a. I wonder where that other lady of color. She was pregnant. She was a prosecutor. I wonder, is she coming back? Is she a teammate with the other Mexican lady prosecutor? Because I want her back in there as well. But I haven't seen her since she had her baby. So I guess this a new team. Period. I like this judge. I just don't understand this prosecutor right here. He got all of their paperwork, but he's not handing their paperwork back to them. He's not communicating with the defense. I don't understand this prosecutor right here. He can't do that. He's just holding their paperwork. Come on, they ain't intended to use it, but give it back to them. If you're not intended to use their work, get work. That's what you need to do. Get them their work back. And get them folks their paperwork. So see, prosecute the prosecutor, that guy right there, is gonna mess it up if he don't do his job. Now the defense attorney, they are doing their job because they trying to save somebody's life. But the prosecutor trying to get him the death penalty, without doing his work. He's gonna have to work while that woman gone. I can't wait till that woman come back here because he ain't doing good. And Melly, don't get fooled by your defense attorney to make you think that you're gonna get out of there, because you're not gonna get out of there. They're not gonna. They don't want you to go there. They helping you, but you might not get the death penalty, but you might spend the rest of your life in prison. I don't know. But this is about the death penalty. Hey, Carolina.
I can't say for Siegel. I have the order from Judge Murphy. I saw that. Trial transcript. That would be the evidence.
But see, this judge is telling them the same thing Murphy told them. He's telling them the same thing. He won't copy from them. He won't copy from them. And he had the copies from both sides. He's okay. He's there. The judges are not getting the paperwork copies, all the copies in on time. These folks got plenty of time to get all this paperwork in. Look how long we've been going to hearings. You got to just, I know they got other jobs to do, but you got to put stuff to the side and do what you need to do. That got to do what you need to do. You chose the job to be an attorney, so do your job.
I think we kind of worked most of this out. We did, I think the crux of my complaint with that motion that day was setting depositions and just gave me a whole plethora of depositions. Somebody is in my office today actually.
Okay, so this one was drawn over the court as well? So you're on file?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
Yes.
Motion for additional cause of the state of Florida shall be found in the second part of the that's all that I have today. For the arbiter hearing, how much time I should need today?
How long will you take?
We're gonna go back and email the transcripts this afternoon. I think Taylor's a bit long. Oh, they're huge. We'll be delivering them on a thumb drive either this afternoon or tomorrow.
He had that lady prosecutor with him. He don't be doing all that smiling and stuff. He be looking serious. Right now he don't take it serious to me.
Here's a drive I brought for something else that I can do. You know that Travis Clerk actually filed with in the docket a day by day synopsis of what happened in trial. So you know that's what he went. I just printed it out. Oh, you know that, but I don't know the whole transcript. No, what happened yet.
They just like to talk. The defense, they got their stuff together. I, I did what I think y'all did. I'm gonna tell you something. You gotta watch people who smile all the time in your face. Because behind that smile is a lot of work they done on you. They got work they about to do on you. Now I think that the prosecutor got some. They got their business straight, but he can't say too much because of the other prosecutors not there. So he throwing them off his job. That prosecutor who up there now talking to the judge is the prosecutor that's supposed to procrastinate for the main prosecutor. See, I can see what they're doing. That's why he said, "Oh, I haven't had time to do this, and I haven't had time to do that." Yeah, because you oh Lord, wait, I want to say. You folk make me where I can't talk.
Monday, April 21st. I am. Miss Collins and I are out that day. You're on the whole week.
They got Mary think he coming out of there. Mary, you ain't going nowhere. You're not coming out of there. I'm telling you. You got two boys you don't made disappear.
I could start at like 10:30 that day just because I have a late meeting that morning. Tuesday, is better. It is for me. I don't know.
That sound like her sitting right there, but they won't show her face. I don't know what she in there. Yeah, they ain't gonna have this stuff together. Mm-mm. There go y'all boy. What happened to them two boys, Manly, that was in the back of that car? Cause you were back there. I ain't taking nothing for nobody. Man, they talking about Metal done got little. He look he his size. He supposed to be. He ain't never been big. Talking about he look little. He the same size he been. Metal think he about to get out of something. He about like King Von. I know y'all about to be mad. He didn't try not to get that death penalty, but he about to do that time though. Ooh, shit. Mm-mm. Y'all. I really do. I hope they have themselves together. Whew, Lord. Before this trial day. I really do. And I like this. I like this attorney. Um, I like this attorney, not attorney. I like this judge. I really do. I like him better than I like Murphy. I think if we had had him, this attorney, this judge right here, I think things would have went smoothly. But that other judge, no. I don't like. It ain't that I don't like Murphy. I think that Murphy need to retire. So you know how some people don't want to let let that money go. Sitting up on that bench making all that money. Ain't did nothing. Ain't did nothing. So y'all, after watching the hearing, they gotta come to court April to something and then May May the something. Then we're going to court in September. But I will update y'all on that on everything that happened. I be jumping from different cases to different cases because I like me doing a lesson plan, like doing lesson plans, and I'll retire from doing lesson plans. So I like to write. I like to stay busy. So y'all, I'll be back on late tonight, okay? No telling what I might talk about late tonight, y'all. No telling. Yes, sir. Just make sure you hear Caroline, y'all, and everybody else. I thank y'all for watching. Tell me what you think in the comment. Do y'all think that he's going to get the death penalty? Do y'all think he's going to get a bond later? He just going to do time. Y'all like, share, and subscribe. I'm out of here.